Now it is time for our Exhibitor Hall. We are proud to welcome today's exhibitors. Prism Support Services and Disability Right New Jersey. The Exhibitor Hall is an opportunity to learn more about these organizations and work they are doing to support people with IDD, which is intellectual developmental disability statewide. Each exhibitor will have 15 minutes to share resources, so you will have the chance to meet with Ian from Prison Support Services and Denise and Barbara from Disability Rights New Jersey and ask questions about their organization.
You are spotlighted, Ian, so everybody can see you.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, Ian, go for it. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you so much for your opportunity to present and your invitation. We definitely look forward to providing some valuable information, and we know that we have a wide spectrum of individuals receiving various services, or individuals who have not yet been receiving services from the Division of Disabilities. My name is Ian Griffiths, and as I said, I am from Prism Support Services. We are a support coordination agency, and we're going to share a brief presentation with you about our services. At the end, we will have a time for questions as well. So if you have any questions and you'd like to ask or get more information, feel free to take the time to ask those questions. All right. So as I mentioned before, I'm Ian Griffiths. I'm the Executive Director of Prism Support Services. We'll be touching a little bit about who is Prism Support Services, the service that we provide, which is through the supports and the community care program. We'll be talking about being eligible for the program. Some of you may already be on the supports program, and some of you may not. They may be working towards it. We'll be talking a little bit about the New Jersey Comprehensive Tool Assessment Tool, the tier and your budget if you're already on the program, selecting a support coordination, or working with your current support coordination agency if you already have one. Talking about some of the services that are available and giving you some examples of how the funding works through the Division of Disabilities. Many of you, I can tell, could possibly already be familiar with a lot of this, but it's good to have some reminders, and there could be things that could, you may want to ask further questions about as we go along. Who is Prism Support Services? We are a support coordination agency, similar to what you call a care management agency. We help people with individuals and their families connect with the appropriate DDD, which means for the Division of Developmental Disability Services, as well as other medical, social, and educational services to improve your lives as individuals. The support coordination agency also ensures that vendors, anybody who is providing services, either if you're currently in a group home setting, or you're going to a day program, or receiving any other services, we ensure that those service providers are being paid, and we monitor those services to ensure that you're satisfied. It's always important to remember that the program is geared towards you, and ultimately your satisfaction is very, very important. Prism Support Services, we have been in business for over 15 years, and we service all counties in New Jersey except for 3, which is Salem, Cumberland, and Cape May. Those are the only 3 that we don't have services in. We have over 20 plus support coordinators on staff, and the support coordinators are there to work with you one-on-one to ensure the satisfaction of your services. We also self-approve our plans, which just means that because we have been doing support coordination for quite a while, and because of the quality of our work, the division allows us to approve services internally in-house, so that makes sure your services get started much faster. A more inexperienced or newer agency their plans have to be sent to the division for review, and that can delay a lot of the delay the time in which services can get started. So you want to generally lean towards agencies that approve their plans quickly, and that ensures that you receive your services as quickly as possible. What is the supports and the community care program? Some of you may already be in some of these programs, but the supports and community care program, they were developed by the New Jersey Department of Human Services, the Division of Development Abilities, and it provides public funding for certain services that assist eligible New Jersey adults with intellectual or developmental disabilities. You have to be at least 21 and over, and it's geared towards helping you live as independently as possible. The supports program is also geared towards self-advocacy. I heard a lot about that in your earlier discussion. So it's there for you to be able to advocate for yourself, and it's also supposed to be person-centered planning to ensure that your voices are being heard, and also those that you know, in your family that help to support you. So the program is here to help you to advocate for yourself, determine what services you would like, and it allows you to live as independently as you can with the funding that's available through the Division of Disabilities. To be eligible for the program, some of you may already be there, but for those who are not, you have to be at least 21 years of age and older. You have to have Medicaid eligibility, and you have to have the Division of Disability eligibility as well. And that typically just means that you need to have a developmental disability before the age of 21 for you to qualify with them. Once you qualify for DDE services, before you actually come into the start working on the program, the division does what we call a New Jersey Comprehensive Assessment Tool. And this is just a questionnaire. It's just a questionnaire that the division goes over with you, and it assesses cognitive areas that you are strong in cognitively, self-care, and independent living skills. So it assesses how well are you at being able to you know, take care of yourself independently, and what supports you may need as well if you need extra support for self-care and independent living. It also assesses your verbal communication skills as well, and identifies any supports you may need, mobility and physical capabilities as well, and also social, emotional functioning, and special behaviors, and any medical concerns you may have. So, you know, the NJCAT is, you know, it's a way of getting a quick snapshot of who you are, what level of supports you need, and how can the program support you. The New Jersey Comprehensive Tool is completed. It can be completed by yourself or a family member or a guardian, or if you're in a group home setting or residential setting, it can be also by your residential staff as well. It's completed online, on the telephone, or in person. And just to let you know, just for, I know we have a mix of individuals who are either on the program or getting close to the program. Your New Jersey Comprehensive Tool is what drives the funding that gives you the support that you need. It can be updated at any time. It can be updated annually if there's a change that's identified. If you're already in the supports program, it can be done every 2 years, every 3 years. So your support coordinator, who I'll touch on later, is responsible to make sure that the New Jersey Comprehensive Tool is always as accurate as possible. It reflects you, because this is what determines, this will help with making sure you have the sufficient funding you need for your service providers and individuals that support you. So just bear that in mind. Make sure that that's something that's always up to date. Now, once your New Jersey Comprehensive Assessment Tool is completed, it assigns a tier, which just means it gives you a letter from A to E, and it also assigns a budget, which just means based on my tier, how much money is available, will be available to me for my services. It also gives a score on 3 main areas, which is self-care and medical. So once a tier is assigned, it gives the support coordinator or our staff an idea of who you are, a little bit about what your strengths are, what the areas of support that you need are, and it just gives us a sense of how do we start to help you, in order to receive your services. The tier is broken up, or your budget is broken up between employment day supports and family supports. Now, this gives you an idea of what the tier assignment is like, and this is as of 2021. So the funding has increased slightly since this year, but this is still fairly accurate. So if you notice on somebody who is a tier A, if you look at the top part of your screen, a tier A, this person is typically somebody who needs less support, and so they have a budget of 20,901. And if you notice, as we go further down our table from an A, let's look at a tier C. This individual may need more support based on the New Jersey Comprehensive Tool, and their budget is 35,000. And if you go all the way down to the end, the last line, which is a tier E, and A, which is, I'll explain later, this person also requires 84,000. So your tier actually drives the funding that we talked about earlier. And so it's very important that doesn't matter if you're already in the program, maybe you're in the program and you're tier B, but maybe next year over time, maybe, your needs may change and you feel you need extra supports and your current budget under our tier B cannot support you. Ask your support coordinator, to do a reassessment for you and to see, which will determine if there could be a change in your budget and your funding for services. There are 2 types of budgets or 2 types of services under the Division of Disability Supports Program. There's the supports program, which typically covers individuals who are new to the program. They come in under the supports, and then as time goes by, you can transition to the community care program, which just gives an extra level of funding for those who are in residential settings. So if we notice on this budget, this section, let me see, the 4th column to the right-hand side in the middle, this gives you extra funding for individuals who are in a residential setting. And I know some of you are in residential settings, so you would fall under the community care program. And that funding is extra simply because you're receiving services in a residential setting and you need that extra funding to help to cover that. So that's why DDD allows that. To get into the community care program, you have to have that extra level of need, and you have to be able to determine, or at least, let DDD has to recognize and see that you have that extra level to give you that extra funding funding for the services. So once you have your budget, then you have done all the qualifications to come into the program. You are assigned. You have the opportunity to select a support coordination agency, similar to us. So the division will give you a list of agencies to choose from, and then you select an agency. Once you select an agency, you will be assigned a support coordinator who will be working with you to access your funding and to receive your services. Now, there are over 200 support coordination agencies within New Jersey, and you have the option to choose any agency as long as they provide services in your county. You can choose an agency when you come into the program. You can change agencies while you're in the program as often as you like. So there's a lot of flexibility when you're working with a support coordination agency.
Ian, thank you so much for all of this information. We have just one more minute. Is there a closing thought, final info that you'd like to share with the group?
Sure, yes. So just to let you know quickly, there are services that are available: assistive technology, behavioral supports, community-based supports, community inclusion, goods and services. They have, just know that for support coordination, that we are here to help you. We are here to provide any necessary supports that you may need. Just know that you're to advocate for yourself when you're in support coordination, and that it's all about a person-centered planning and person-centered approach to accessing and receiving services. And if you have any questions afterwards, I believe our website has been posted as well, and our email address is there as well, for any kind of further questions you may have. All right.
Ian, thank you so much for your time and your participation and sharing all this great info with the group. We appreciate it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome.
Okay, and now we are going to turn it over to two team members from Disability Rights New Jersey, Denise Lugo Fowler and Barbara Coppins.
Thank you, Ashley and Evelyn, for allowing us to be here today at this great event. And this is actually my first time in the virtual one. I used to go to the in-person events, so thank you. So we are Disability Rights New Jersey. Today, Barb Coppins will be speaking or doing most of the presentation. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Denise Lugo Fowler. I am the Chief Administrative Officer and Director of Training and Outreach. I've been with the organization for about
he's going to get the blame.
8 years or so. So a few years with the organization. But as I said before, I'm happy to be here, and I will turn it over to Barb.
Thank you, Denise. Nice seeing you on there. Good morning again. My name is Barbara Coppins. I'm with Disability Rights New Jersey. I work with Denise, and I'm going to talk to you about what disability rights are, what we do, what we're all about. Disability Rights New Jersey is a designated protection and advocacy agency for New Jersey. We advocate for and advance the human, civil, and legal rights of residents of New Jersey with disabilities. Protection and advocacy system. In 1972, the Willbrook exposed by Geldo Rivera showed deplorable conditions. In 1975, the Congress responded by enhancing the Developmentally Disabled Assistance and the Bill of Rights Act, the DD Act, which created the protection and advocacy system. Protection, each state was to designate an agency to receive federal funds to investigate and monitor the facilities where individuals with developmental disabilities were located to ensure that they were not the subject of abuse and neglect. Advocacy to advocate for the civil, legal, and human rights for individuals with disabilities. We have our goals and priorities. Abuse and neglect. Discriminations, because we have a lot of issues with that on like unemployment with the when people with disabilities and all that, they always be getting discriminated. Community-based services, that's what we work on, because we like to eliminate the waiting list and get people moved out to the community. And healthcare and decision-making, as we had talked, as the other self-advocates had talked about, that is important, and it is. Children, we work with children like from ages 1 on up, and we have we deal with like the special education. We have an attorneys who work on the special education with the children, because like for an example, when they graduate from high school, they should move out to the community and get jobs like everyone else. Assistive technology, we do a lot of demonstrations with assistive technologies for people that are blind and have hard of hearing, and we have all different kinds of equipment. And when we go out, we do the demonstration, so people would learn and know what assistive technology is, because that's very important to learn about what assistive technology is. And employment, yes, we work with people with employment, to help, especially that are under DVRS. They get services from DVRS, and we work on when they have issues out there with their employer or with the shelter workshops, because a lot of the people wants to work out in the community. Yes, make that competitive pay and make that real dough. Outreach and training, which is my favorite part of the job. I love doing outreaches. Yes, I love it. I love being out there in the community there, like today on Zoom, but I like to be out there in person and, meeting people, helping them, answering any questions. If they have any questions about our agency, what we do. And that's the best part of the job, is so people would know what our agency is about and what we do, because a lot of the times people have never heard of us, and that's why I tried to find more places, that I know out there in the community, so we could be out there doing outreaches out in the community. And that's my favorite part of the job. Yep. Next slide. Self-advocacy. Self-advocacy means advocating for ourselves, standing up for our rights and our right to self-determination. That's right. It is also a civil rights movement that represents individuals of all races, colors, and religions, who have been neglected and abused and incarcerated and misunderstood for most of history. Well, that's the truth, because they're included, we can't leave them out. Beliefs and values of self-advocacy. Being a person first, that's right. Making our own decisions without having anyone to make decisions for you, to choose what you like to wear, what you like to work, and what you like to eat, and all, make your own decisions. Believing in my value as a person, having other people believe in you as a person, as the other self-advocates had said earlier on the video, which it was awesome. Voting is very important, and that is coming up for self-advocacy. It's your right, and your vote makes a difference. Every election is important and can affect issues that are important to individuals with disabilities. Check out your registration status online at the voters svrsnj.gov/registration check. Must be registered 21 days before election. October 18th is the deadline. And we do have a hotline we do. So we have, let me go to the next slide. Voting important for self-advocacy. Options to vote in person on election day or via early voting or by mail-in ballot. We just got our ballots yesterday. If you vote in person, the polling place should be accessible. Yes, it should be. You can bring someone to assist you or can request an assistance. Yes, you can. You're allowed to have someone to go with you to help you vote. When you need help with, if you need help with the reading or like that, because I think that's a good idea to have. What can I do if I have problems? Voting. Disability Rights New Jersey hosts a voting hotline. You can call the hotline Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. On election day, hotline is open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., which we have attorneys that are always on calls to answer any questions. If you have a problem with the polling places, it's not accessible. That's what we have attorneys for. And email voter hotline at disabilityrightsnj.org. So we do have a hotline. Number is 866-493-0023. You can call us on election day if you have any questions or if you have problems at the polling place. So voting is very important. If anyone have any questions, feel free. The floor is yours. You may ask any questions you would like to ask. We'll be happy to answer them. And here's our contact information and our other number, and visit us online at www.disabilityrightsnj.org, Disability Rights New Jersey, and advocate DRNJ. Yep. Whew.
Thank you for that, Barb and Denise. I like that you guys built in a little bit of time for some questions. So Ellen, I saw your hand go up right away. Ellen, what would you like to ask?
Yeah. Hi, Barb.
Hi, Ellen, how you doing?
All right. I have a question. Sometimes I've had trouble going into the booth because my boyfriend can't read the questions right. And sometimes it's either me or Shireen that helps him because he has dyslexia, which he reads things backwards. And some of the poll people there don't understand that, and they try and make fun of him, and I don't think that's right.
Barb, would you be able to just respond to the piece? What happens? What can someone with a disability do if they feel like they're experiencing treatment at a polling place?
They can call our hotline number and talk to an attorney.
Yeah, and also the individual, if they're having any issues on election day and even beforehand, but on election day in particular, they can request, if they need assistance and they don't have someone with them, they can request the poll workers to assign someone to assist them. What they would do is they would actually have two people go into the booth with them, because it would have to be an individual from each party. But if they encounter any problems that day, absolutely give us a call. We do have someone on the line all day until 8 o'clock, and they can actually speak to the poll workers for you, or they can help you with your options on that day. So they can kind of walk you through the process too. And now with early voting, there is a window where people who may not be able to, for some reason, not vote, that they don't think that they're going to be able to vote on election day. There's actually 9 days before, and I don't have the dates with me right now, but I believe it's the 27th to the 6th of, I know it ends the 6th of November, that they can actually go in person and vote in a polling booth. It's may not be the same place you normally go to, but there are some other options now for early voting. And also, of course, the mail-in ballots are also a good option too.
Yep, they are. Yes, they are.
That is a great resource to share. Thank you
Yeah.
both. And we have just a few minutes left before we are going to begin our closing remarks. Evelyn will take back over for closing remarks. Ian is also an exhibitor here today on behalf of PRISM Support Services. So I'm going to open up the floor. Are there questions for Barb and Denise with Disability Rights New Jersey, or Ian Griffiths with PRISM Support Services? And I'm seeing Janet. Janet, I know you have your hand up. What would you like to say?
Well, my problem is that my brother is my guardian and he filled out so I can go vote. So I went 1 year to go vote and they said that I couldn't go, that they have to, now they're sending me absentee ballot. Because is that discrimination because they said I can't vote out there? I have to have an absentee ballot. They have to mail it to me now. So what do you guys think?
Okay, so I can answer that question. So when you have, or someone has filled out the mail-in ballot that request for that, you have an option at the very top of the form to have the mail-in ballot sent to you for every election, or if you only want it for certain elections, like the general election or primaries. So you would have to then go let the county clerk know that you no longer want to receive the mail-in ballot, because what they're probably saying is you're on the list for the mail-in ballot, so you cannot then go in person to vote because you're on the list for mail-in ballots. Does that answer your question?
So, and Janet, another important point to remember is, it's possible that, if your brother or another staff member helped you fill out your initial application and did check off that you wanted to vote by mail for future elections, you may have to reach back out to just clarify that with the County Board of Elections, that you do want to vote in person, because we know you can only vote once. It's in person or by mail. So no doubling up on that. So Janet, I hope that was helpful for you. And we also shared Disability Rights New Jersey's website link in the chat. So we are going to move into our closing remarks and our group photo, but I'm going to turn it over to Evelyn, and I do want to express so much appreciation for the exhibitors who are here today. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Barb.
You're
We
welcome.
truly appreciate it.